Hey, what's up, Grant? This is a quick demo video for you for your Roman props MK1 with Rudy Pando Chamber and a recessed Neopixel blade. All right, so we're going to go over my desk. I'll show you how to work everything and get this out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, man. All right, Grant, let's go over your Roman props MK1 and the recessed blade that I made for you. We'll fire this up later in the video. All right, this has got to be probably one of the best props that there is out there, made out of steel. I felt that way years ago when I first held this thing. It just feels like a lightsaber. If this is your first lightsaber, man, you picked a good one. You picked a good one. You've got a KR Sabers lit PCB in here, all right, with that recessed piece for your blade. I've got your blade plug right here. I'm not going to put it into the very end so I don't forget it, but we'll put that off to the side. This is a 2-button setup, so you have 2 tactile switches located underneath this bubble strip, and I have a piece of just aluminum shim over those switches so you don't see them right behind the bubble strip because this is a clear plastic piece. All right, but up front here, that's power. Back here, that's auxiliary. I did something a little bit different on this one than what I typically do. I made this one to where you do not have to loosen this clamp to unscrew your grenade section for your crystal. All right, so what you just do is you grab it firmly right here, take this grenade section, turn it clockwise until it stops, shimmy it out, all right, and then turn it counterclockwise to lock it in. This little grub screw right here, it travels in this channel. What you don't see is that little piece of the channel there that locks it there. There's a same little L-shaped channel down here that locks it in. But when you do that, you expose your crystal chamber. This is the Rudy Pando Chamber offered by Roman Props in brass. So you asked me to do some things to it. I really do hope that you like the way that that came out. Put a few greeblies in here, 2 crystals, and we'll light that up here in a second. But when you're ready to close it, turn it like that. That's going to line up there. It's going to slide all the way down and then lock in place. That's how you do that. All right. Coming over here to get to your chassis, you just want to unscrew the booster section and the pummel as one piece. That gives you access to your Proffie V3. If we can stay in focus here, access to your micro USB, your SD card. You've got a kill switch right here. You've got a 1.3 millimeter recharge port. If you need a link to the custom Saber shop for that charging port right there, I'm happy to provide one. All right, you'll need the charger and the adapter. Let me get one. This is mine right here. Please don't pay attention to how old it is. This guy has been through some things. All right, but you'll need this. You'll buy this as a standard recharge port or just recharge connector, right? And you'll need to buy this adapter that plugs right into here, and that plugs into the little recharge port. All right, so let me know if you need the links to that, no problem. But coming over here, flip the kill switch.
I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
Screw that back on. This is your sound venting, these 2 holes and this slot right here for people who aren't familiar with why there's just a little bit of not alignment right there. When you screw these guys in, that's what happens. All right, so these are nice and locked in tight, which holds the clamp card in place, still gives you plenty of sound venting here and here. Also through here, the bottom of the switch box, we'll hit power. KR Sabers, lit PCB there, all fired up, auxiliary back here. Turn it off. We'll fire up your blade. So as you can tell, this is a recessed blade. If I can get it in frame, apologies for that. The PCB is recessed down into the blade. That's basically what that means. The reason we do that is because this is a thin neck saber, so you don't have very much room at all for blade depth. And that's why we have that little cup in there. You would just take your blade, push it all the way in. You're going to want to push it in and lock this down. I'm not going to do that for the sake of this demo, but that is your blade retention, and you'll want to lock that down. All right. Once you do that, you can come over here and hit power. From tip to emitter, right? Hit auxiliary. Blaster bolts is just tapping auxiliary. All right, blade lockup is holding it down and hitting the saber. your blade lock up right there. And it stays like that until you let go of it. You also have twist off. So one more time on the blade from back here. On. You can just tap the button if you don't want to twist it off. Tap the power button. And it turns that guy off. All right, we'll take that guy out. Now the crystal chamber. We're gonna come over here again. Shimmy that up. Lock it in place. You've got two different crystals here. So if I turn the slide off, hopefully you can see that they're both doing something different, but blue for Obi-Wan. All right, we'll hit power. When the saber's on, I made this one on the bottom do a heartbeat, but the one on top will match the blade. So I wanted to keep them doing a little something different for you. All right, that's the front, that's the back. Now, when you have the crystal chamber exposed like this, you're not going to get power up here. All right, and the reason for that is because right at the top of this chamber, there's a blade PCB. It's the exact same as your blade, this PCB that's inside your blade. And then there's a 7-pin connector right at the top of this neck that aren't connecting. They only make connection when the saber's locked in. So when the saber's locked in and those pieces come together, that's when you get power up here. All right, so just be aware when you expose your crystal chamber, you won't be able to light your blade as well. That's how this is a wireless setup. All right, so to play the quotes that you had me put on here, I got a total of 7 sound fonts on here. You'd asked me for some particular quotes. So when we turn this on, I put the quotes under the force folder. So to activate the force folder, you do a long press on the power.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
Move along.
Move along.
Obiwan Kenobi.
To switch sound fonts, you tap auxiliary when the saber's off. All right.
You see that new BT-16? Yeah, something I've got telling me about it. What was that? That's nothing. You see that again? Don't worry about it. Yeah, something I've got telling me about it. What was that? That's nothing. Not guessing. Don't worry about it.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
Obiwan Kenobi. Obiwan Kenobi.
Same boot up, different fonts.
It's just bad these days.
That's how you get your different quotes. All of your sound fonts have a multitude of quotes. Doing a long press on the power when the saber is on will cycle through them, but this one they do play them at random, so from time to time you might get the same one that plays twice, so just be aware of that. All right, so coming over here when you're done with the saber, this is a brand new battery, by the way, so first thing you're going to want to do is give it a charge, but we'll turn it on. Right, come over here and flip the kill switch, and that kills power. And that, sir, is how you use your Roman props MK1 with Rudy Pando Chamber. So one thing I noticed right away is we don't want to put this in here and not put something in here. All right, so typically what I suggest for people is that you take a piece of felt, put it along the inside there. I don't have any in stock. You can use electrical tape if you want, but the one thing you're trying to avoid is to have that metal touch these pins. You don't want that. And then to turn the saber on, that's a bad deal. Like, you're going to have a really bad day. I'm going to leave this in the box, but I'm not going to put it in the saber. All right, so make sure you just put something in there that that insulates that metal from those pins, you don't want to turn the saber on and have those touching. All right, but that is how you use your Roman Props MK1 with Rudy Pando Chamber and recessed blade. Let me know if you have any questions, and this will go out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, man.